don't see it. There we go. Hey, we are live. We are live. Hey, welcome everybody.
Hey,
Welcome.
happy Thursday.
Yeah, birthday?
Thursday.
Thursday. Happy Thursday. Sorry, you are listening to Carolina Retirement Planners weekly happy half hour here on Thursday, the 22nd of April, 2021. Yes, we've been doing this now for how many weeks? Is this
42, 43?
Maybe 43. We invite our clients and guests and folks to come grab your favorite beverage and join us to kind of have some fun and talk about something usually financial-ish, but in retirement-ish, but in a hopefully entertaining fashion. So, and what are you drinking today, Samantha?
Well, for those of you who may not already be aware, today is Earth Day, one of my favorite days. And in honor of Earth Day, I'm drinking, it's called, I've poured it out. I haven't just drank it all, but it's Patagonia Cerveza. It's this Pilsner. And for every case that you buy, they plant a tree. And it's this particular beer is in partnership with the National Forest Foundation.
Okay.
So I'm doing my part while drinking my beer.
Association of Hops Growers. You know, I am drinking my normal herbal tea here. Amy, are you drinking anything in particular?
You know what? I'm boring. I have water. I'm driving to South Carolina today. Just water. Okay.
Amy is behind the scenes. She's making all this stuff work, connecting. We're actually broadcasting it on Zoom and then feeding it into Facebook. It'll be recorded there. You can watch the reruns, and you can go back and watch the other 42 of them or whatever. A lot of good stuff there. A lot of people really enjoy coming watching the reruns. And we have some. If you are here, one of the things you can do is type into the chat and say hi, because we can't see you. You can't see you who's here. We won't know unless you type it into the chat. And we see Bill, a regular, is here. Cindy, another regular, here. Diane, who's become a regular. Bruce, and Miranda, top fan, another person here every week. Teresa, all great to see you here on today's.
And Diane was our winner last week.
Ah, yeah, that's right.
Congratulations, Diane.
Every week for those of you who don't know, every week we give away 2 bottles of wine. We have a drawing based upon people that said they're coming, liked us on Facebook. We'll talk about it, all kinds of ways to get in. And we'll see. That's the final. We'll do that at the end. So save the best for last. And who else is here, Sam?
Oh, I don't know where you left off.
I think I left off with Teresa, who is actually
Amy's mom.
Amy's mom.
So Pat's here, and Rick and maybe Marcy are here.
Talked to them this past week. Yeah.
Yeah. Jeff and Yoko are here. Hi, y'all. Bruce and Amy is working really hard today. She works really hard all the time, but she's grinding her gears today for sure. We really appreciate it too. And hey, Ed and Renee. So thank you all for joining us today.
And besides Earth Day, what day is it?
Oh, it's teach your children to save.
Ah.
So maybe they're saving the planet, or maybe they're saving for retirement.
If you have children or grandchildren, especially, kids in their teens, early 20s, a really good book. We gave it away. We gave away the copies we had somewhere in the last 43 weeks, but it's called The Latte Factor. It's by David Bach, a friend of ours, actually one of the co-owners of the investment group we work with. He wrote a lot of books, Smart Women Finish Rich, and great guy. And he wrote The Latte Factor, which will really help your grandchildren more than likely build good habits early. So write that down. Think about that as a gift for them on their birthday or something. Be a great gift. And it's very entertaining. It's written to draw you in. So
It's a very, I gave it to my daughter. It is. It's an easy read. I agree with you. Give it to your kids and grandkids. Great
the
book.
best thing you can do here on Teach Your Kids to Save Day. And now let's go through who else is here before. Where do we leave off? We'll talk about a few more before we plunge into today's weird news.
Al has joined us, so welcome, Al.
Hey, Alan.
And my mom, Sandy's here, so hey, Mom.
Hi, my dear wife. I guess I need to be careful. I can't say anything about her now.
It was my mom's birthday yesterday, so happy birthday, Mom.
Happy belated birthday. She ate well yesterday. Everybody, for days, people have been taking her out, you know.
Do you know I saved that picture, David, from when I first started, and you asked me to create an anniversary card for her. So I kept that in my back pocket for.
Yeah, if you look at our if you go to our Carolina Retirement's Facebook page, you'll see a picture of Sandy there in her pirate outfit. So it's worth just going seeking it out. And Robert, Teresa, hey Jay, and Carter are here. Good to
Crystal
see
and
you.
Steve, and Rich and Lanny
Lanny's always here.
and Crystal
Crystal, good to hear. And Crystal's in Michigan. Good to hear from you.
and Ellen and John Paul are here.
Oh, okay. Now what's our topic today?
Oh man, well we got thrown some curveballs in the last few weeks, didn't we, by the IRS? Well, we've been, thrown a few curveballs regarding the stretch IRA and passing on a legacy to your children or grandchildren or whomever you want to leave a legacy to. And the curveballs keep on coming, but I feel like if I feel like I'm just going to give too much away. I don't want to tell it all right now. I want to let. Okay. I'm going to ruin the presentation if I.
Well, I'm going to go to the board in a minute, but when an IRA is something you put money into while you're working and you didn't pay any tax when you put it in there. And all those years it grew and you didn't pay taxes, it grows. And then whenever you take it out, it's taxable, and it's taxable just like a paycheck at your ordinary income rate, not like capital gains or some other things. And when you get to now 72, you have to take RMDs, right? Required minimum distributions. And when you're 72, when you're married or been married, you have one set of tables you go to. It's a set of tables for actually a 72-year-old married to a 62-year-old. It's a lower number. You got to take out about 4%, a little less than 4% that first year. It's a little different. And your spouse can just stretch that out over, the surviving spouse can stretch that out over their life. It's a little different when you leave it to a non-spouse, basically a child, one of your kids or one of your grandkids. When there's a few exceptions, and we could bore you with all the rules, but they apply to only a handful of people. So there's a different set of rules, and there's the way it used to be, the way we thought it was, and the way it is now, or the way the IRS is proposing to interpret it. And we're gonna go cover that a little bit here. And Sam, chime in if I miss something or the like.
Absolutely. We're, the IRS has definitely got us all a little turned around here. So I'll make sure we stay on track.
Now, let's just say you died and you had $1 million in your IRA, and you're going to leave that to your kids and to your grandkids. And we know lots of people that have, that kind of money or a bunch of money they want to leave. In fact, a lot of people, the strategy we were sold was to grow your IRA, leave it there, take out as little as possible, and let your kids stretch it out. And what would happen is if you died and your child was 50, say they were 50 when you died, that first year, they would have to take out 2.9%. And then the next year, they'd have to take out like 3 and 3.1. By the time they were 60, they'd have to take out 3.9%. By the time they were 70, they'd have to take out 5.9% of the balance. Think about it. Let's just say you earn 6%. Well, for the first 20 years, they took money out. The IRA probably still be growing, be up over $1 million then. You know, this was kind of nice. I could let my work and leave my fortune to my kids and let them stretch it out. And you can see by 80, it's almost 10%. By 90, it's almost 20. So in these final years, they're taking bigger chunks out. And that was what a lot of people counted on. Well, the Secure Act came in at the beginning of last year. And what the IRS said is you have 10 years to take all the money out. Oh, by the way, if you don't take the money out, Sam, what is the penalty if at the end of these 10 years you didn't take the money out or you didn't take your required minimum distribution before? You know what the penalty is?
You're penalized half of the amount of whatever's remaining, and then you're taxed on it as well.
If you don't take out what you're supposed to, the penalty is 50%. So if you went 10 years and you didn't take the money out of the IRA and you had $1 million in there, $500,000 would be paid in penalty. So
it's still IRA money, so you'd have to pay taxes on that penalty.
And you'd have to pay taxes on the penalty too. It gets crazy. So you don't want to have to pay a penalty. Now, so that they changed the rules. Now, if you've been coming to some of our other happy half hours, or you've gone to the classes, I've been giving workshops at UNCW and Brunswick Community College for 15 years. And I go through all the tax strategies you can use. In fact, we have a webinar next Tuesday night on tax strategies. If you want to come to that, you can drop us an email. We'll get you an invitation. But there's a lot of tax strategies you could use to reduce well, if you leave this money to your kids, it's going to drive them into a higher tax bracket, you know, because all of a sudden they're going to have, say they divide it into 10 parts, they take out 100,000 a year. Now that 100,000 is put on top of their earning. At age 50, they're in their peak earning years. So it's going to be taxed at their highest tax bracket. It's a way for the IRS to suck more money, get more tax on your IRA money. Well, now, the thing about it is if you left your son or daughter an IRA, say it's at Fidelity, and they called up Fidelity and they said, well, what do I have to take out of this IRA? Fidelity would say, well, you've got a 10-year rule now. You have no minimum distribution, but you got to take it out in 10 years. Here's what the IRS did. On March 26th, they updated the rules, and about 3 weeks later, on a Friday night, they released them. They like to do things on Friday night. This is publication 590B. It's the proposal. And what it said is, hey, the rule isn't you have 10 years to take it out. The rule is you still have to take out these mandatory distributions. You still got to take out 2.9% that first year, 3 the next, and up to 3.9. And then in the last year, you got to take out what's left. Now, part of me just gets suspicious because think about it. If you are over 72 now and you have to take RMDs, Fidelity or whoever has the money, every year they tell you what your required minimum distribution is, right? At age, they'll say that you got to take this many dollars out this year. And they'll do that for inherited IRA. So your kids will now get a statement that says your required minimum distribution is 2.9%. they'll say, great, I only have to take out, you know, $29,000. Ooh, this is great. And they'll do that. And then in the last year, they'll say it's your minimum required distributions 100%. And now they got to pull out $1 million and add that to their taxable income and have basically half of it go away. It just seems there is a previous 5-year rule that's used for like IRA distributions coming out of living trust and things. I won't go into the details, but that distribution had the 5-year rule where you had 5 years and you had no minimum, just had to get it all out. We all assumed, and some of the biggest tax experts in the country, Ed Slott, who we're part of his elite tax advisory group, expected that. And this was a surprise. And I look, why would they do this? And part of it is, I think they're gunning to make it, even more confusing and make the likelihood of you getting your kids getting clobbered with tax and even more of your IRA going to tax be a reality. So that's, what other questions do we have pertaining to this, Sam? We had some others, how it worked for what?
Well, a few things that I wanted to make sure that we differentiate is that when we're talking about this inherited IRA, we're talking about a non-spouse. If you leave your IRA to your spouse, they essentially take that IRA as their own or have the option to take that IRA as their own. So we're at this point, we're talking about your kids, your grandkids, a family friend, a cousin. We're not talking about your spouse. It's different for your spouse. So your spouse can just assume your IRA.
Your spouse can still stretch it out and take out even less than these amounts because it's a different table.
And if you're both under 72, then if your spouse is under 72, then they don't have to take RMDs because it's their IRA.
Right, until they hit 72.
Until they hit 72.
It gets a little complicated how old you were when you died, but basically they can still stretch it. So this is for kids, grandkids, folks like that you're leaving.
Absolutely. This is leaving a legacy to the next generation or family or friends. Mm-hmm. The other question we had is, what about Roth? How does this mean the same thing to a Roth?
It does. And this is an extra bummer because if this was a Roth IRA, prior to this, if you had a Roth, prior to the rule change, you still had to take required minimum distributions. You'd still have to take out 3 to 4% a year for these years. And we were all excited because if you leave them a Roth, there would be no required minimum distributions and you could take it all out at the last minute and get it tax-free, because a Roth is always tax-free, but you get an extra 10 years growth on all the money. Now you're going to have to take required minimum distributions on the Roth and take it out and put it into the taxable world where future growth is likely to be taxed.
So maybe that had a little bit to do with it too, is getting.
That probably had a little bit to do with it too. Now,
yeah.
Have they absolutely finalized the rule? What should people do?
Well, according to Ed Slott, they have not absolutely finalized this rule, and his advice is to not take any knee-jerk reactions here and to wait for further guidance from the IRS.
If you are if your parents have left you money like this, don't do anything yet don't take any distributions you don't want in a panic, because they may still, the rules haven't been totally settled. But again, in fact, I'm going to go and rant and rave. I want to spend, if we got a few minutes left, I want to give a little bit of raving that I haven't done yet. I don't like to talk about it much because
before you rant and rave, I have two more things.
Okay.
But yes, wait hold off is what Ed Slott said. He said, we're waiting for definite set in stone guidance. But for many of you, if you have 10 years to drain this account, you're going to feasibly want to be taking out some money anyhow.
That's true.
Also, somebody had asked if the person you inherited your IRA from passed in, say, February of 2020, do you have until February of 2030 to get all the money out, or do you have until December 31st of?
I got it right here. I got it right here. If the 10-year rule applies, the amount remaining, if any, after December 31st of the year containing the 10th anniversary of the owner's death is subject to a 50% excise tax. So you have up to December 31st of the full year, 10 years after that person died. Really, the thing to do is make sure you consult with someone. We'll talk about how you can get in touch with us, but you want to make sure you consult with someone carefully and set this in stone when it comes to on each individual case. But you basically you could conceivably have almost 11 years if they died on January 1st. You'd have the December 31st of 10 years, the year 10 years after they died. So can I rant and rave now?
If you must.
Okay. There is a website called usdebtclock.org. And it's a really depressing place to go because they basically have lots of numbers there, but up in the top is the national debt. And they show it increasing, and there's these little numbers spinning around, and it's scary. Right now, the US debt is $28 trillion. And just to put it into perspective, $28 trillion, if I write it out, looks like this. Now, to be honest, the engineer that I am, it's hard for me to get my head around $28 trillion. But let's look at a different number, $224,748, at least an hour ago. If you filed a tax return as either a single person or a married couple, if you filed a tax return, that is how much tax you owe against this national debt. If you divide the national debt by the number of tax returns, each one owes $224,000. It's kind of like you have a mortgage you can't see for $224,000 that you got to pay down. We all have that mortgage to support that debt. That debt's been going up steadily since 1980, except for about 2 years. It's increased every year. And the past couple of years with COVID and all, we've lobbed on lots more. Even if you pay the interest on this debt at 3%, that'd be $7,000 a year we'd all have to add to our tax bill just to pay the interest. That should scare us. And here's the other thing, and again, I'm ranting and raving. There's a lot of people out there that don't have $224,000 to their name. They got 200 in their bank account. We're not going to get the $224,000 from them over the years to come. There's a lot of other people. Many of you I know are watching tonight, or this afternoon rather, that have way more than $224,000. Much of it here in these IRAs and 401ks. And you're going to have to pay more than that to make up for those that can't. And the government's going to be trying to figure out where to get it from. Now, here's another interesting fact. There's 28 trillion in debt. The National Association of Planning Advisors say there's 31 trillion in IRAs and 401ks. There's more than enough money in all the IRAs and 401ks to pay off the national debt. If I were the IRS, I'd be saying, boy, how big a chunk of this could I get? I probably won't get all 31 trillion, but let's say I could get 10 trillion. You know, that would really, because we got to get the money from somewhere. I mean, you hear in the news, corporate taxes, increase of regular taxes, but boy, if I could get a bunch of it, and I'll tell you, when money goes from one person to another when they die, dead people don't vote. So that's a great place to get money. Estate taxes are like that, you know? So the shenanigans like this make me think that, wow, that's kind of what they're planning. And I just wanted to kind of talk about those numbers in a big way so you could understand. Now, if you are a client, we're in our reviews and in our strategies, we're looking at tax planning and how to get money from the taxable to tax-free world. If you're not a client, if you're a guest here tonight, you want to chat about this and your situation, one good way to do it is just to have a 15-minute phone call with us. Amy, how can they get into that, get a call with us?
Well, honestly, the easiest way is if I just put a link to your calendar, and that way they can just directly book if you're okay with that. Oh,
Yeah.
I see you. Yep, look at that. You already did that. I'll just put that. I've actually already done it. So
So
if
there's
you're
a
cool, I'll just
link
put it
in the
again.
notes. Copy that link out. If you go there, it's Calendly, CALNDLY.com/Caroline,
It's such a goofy word.
or something like that. You know, just
You
go to
actually
there.
did spell it right, though.
Yeah, I spelled it. I just can't say it right. You can go there and you can book a 15-minute phone call and just chat about what your concerns are for 50. If you come to our happy half hour and laugh at our jokes, you're entitled to a 15-minute. You're entitled to a 15-minute phone call. So with that, Sam, what's next?
So we had so many entries this week into our wine drawing. So I have this kind of bulbous glass container, and the way that my little slips work, they kind of fold into each other. So you probably can't tell, but I have over 70 slips of paper in here, which is maybe a record. I think I have a record for wine entries into our raffle this week.
It was absolutely a record. I was crazy today.
It was. Y'all really put Amy to work today, getting everything in the spreadsheet for me. But for those of you who maybe have not entered who are here, and this is the first you're hearing about a wine raffle, there's a few ways to enter. Each week we have the Facebook RSVP. So if you RSVP that you're going, you'll automatically be entered. If you share the event with a friend, you could be entered as well. We send out a few email blasts throughout the week letting you know about the upcoming topic. If you respond to those and let us know a future topic you'd like us to cover, any questions you have about this week's topic, or if you just say, enter me into the wine drawing, we will get you in here. And if you forward that email to friends, for each person that you forward it to, we will put you in here as well that many times. You just have to let us know if you forward the email to friends.
Can I just say that I kind of almost feel like I'm a detective, because if you forward it to a friend or you invite a friend on Facebook, I can see it because it shows me that you shared it with a friend. And even when I'm in there as a business page, and I don't know who you are and you're not one of our clients, I can click and see, and I'm putting you in the wine drawing. So I'm like, oh, so-and-so who I don't know invited so-and-so who I don't know, and let me put them on the spreadsheet. It's this like crazy little private eye detective thing, and it makes me happy to put all these names in for you to add. I don't know, I like it. It makes me really happy.
So
And if you go there and invite a couple of friends, you can immediately get 3 entries into the wine drawing, and it can be good. So
absolutely. And we're also supporting small businesses while we're doing this. We have these shipped directly to your door from Fermental Bottle Shop that's located here in Ogden. They're a really cool spot. They have a great patio, a little walk-up counter where you can get a nice pint or a glass of wine. Oop, I grabbed 2. And our winner today of 2 bottles of wine shipped directly to your door is, and I apologize that we may have a few of the same first names. So I'm going to give the last initial. It's Lisa M. So Lisa M. And
Well,
if you have 2 Lisa M's, it's Lisa M.A. So congratulations, Lisa. You have won our wine this week.
Okay, well, I don't think we've come up with a topic yet for next week. We need to do that yet, but we will send that out what it is on Monday. You can always email us or drop something in here if there's something in particular you'd like to see. So we'll, have a good time. Anything else?
No, you guys did good.
5 o'clock. Boy, we had a half an hour. You hit it right on the pretty much.
Yeah, I was just looking at my clock. You guys did good. Very good.
Thank everybody for coming. We will see you next week, and cheers.
Cheers.